Lastly, in this very quick tutorial, part 4 of module 7, I'm going to show you how you can wrap text around a frame. Obviously, sometimes you're going to want to create a document that has both text and objects in it, and you want to integrate those two seamlessly, and you want the text to be able to not only thread through different text frames, but also interact around your different objects. Simply put, to do this, all we're going to use is our text wrap panel, which features a variety of different ways that you can uh, to indicate how you want the text to flow around or integrate with an object. And then you also have these offset paths where you can actually change how far, how close you want the text to be able to interact with that text frame. There's tons of different options here. Sometimes it's just a matter of kind of going through and playing with these objects. And I'm going to quickly show you how to do this. It's no pain at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to page 3 where we have a circle here, and I've actually already created a text wrap here, but let me show you how we got there. Going to Command Z. So you'll notice here we have our text frame, our text object. I'm actually going to arrange this to the very front so that you can see how this all works. So I'm going to bring that to the front. And you'll notice that my text is hidden behind this object. There's a couple different ways that I can wrap text around it. One, you can either wrap text around the object itself, so it's going to take on the circular shape that's here, or you can have it wrap around this bounding box. So let me go ahead and increase the size of this bounding box a little bit to further illustrate our point. And what I'm going to do is I've opened up my text wrap panel. If it's not displayed here on the side of your panel menu, simply go up to Window, go to Text Wrap, and it'll bring it up. So what I'm going to do is I don't need to click my text boxes or anything like that. Because there's an intersection there, the computer automatically knows that I'm trying to wrap text around this frame. With this text wrap open, I can simply just click one of these options. If you'll notice, I click this option here, which is the text around bounding box. The text threads itself and it automatically comes around this bounding box. Because it's a circle, that doesn't look very right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this one that's one more over, and this is going to wrap the text around the object itself and not the bounding box. So you'll notice here, if I deselect that, the text is taken on a very nice look and feel around this object. Now if I go back and select this, I can actually change the offset, meaning I can dictate how close or how far this wrap is going to be in relation to that. So right now the type offset is 0.625 inches. I can actually decrease that if I want and say 0 inches, meaning it's going to lean up right on that actual frame. But I do want to give a little bit of bleed, and you'll notice that when I clicked up on this arrow for the top offset, that this little arrow or this circle followed it, and that provides where we're going to have our wrap take place. So I can extend that as far out as I want, or I can bring it in. For this next one, what we're going to do is if you come down to the next page, we have the similar problem, but this time our object is a square. So let me go ahead and bring this, let me scale it down a little bit just so we can see, move it this way and this way. I really want to illustrate how we can wrap our text. Same thing with this selected, I'm going to go to my text wrap. Here I can bring it around the bounding box, or I can do it around the text frame. Because this rectangular frame is very similar to the object itself, there's not going to be a big difference between wrap around the bounding box and wrap around the shape itself. So let's go ahead and leave it like this. But this time what I'm going to do is actually lower this offset a little bit more so it really bumps up next to it. You can also increase or decrease just one side. So the left offset obviously is this one, or the right offset. So I can actually bring it in just on one side. I'm going to deselect this. This makes all settings the same, so anything I do to one is going to do it to the other. You notice that that's now 0.625. They're all 0.625. But let's say I wanted to have the right side a little bit closer. What I could do is deselect to make all settings same, and I can decrease this right offset. And you'll notice that this little bounding box now actually went behind the text frame, and my text is actually hidden behind this text frame. So we actually don't want to do that. Let's make it 0. So we have a little bit more space, and then I can actually extend the other side. So you can get some really cool dynamic effects. Obviously that's not a very good wrap. You probably wouldn't see that, but it's nice to know that you can if you want to. Let's go ahead and bring this back down to 0.187. Let's make this 0.06. Let's do all these uniform. We'll click that. Simply put, by clicking that, everything's now 0.625. We have a nice little bounding box. That is how you wrap text around an object. One other thing that you can do, and we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but let's say you want to create something a little more dynamic. You can use your direct selection, and just like we've done in Illustrator, you can change a shape, make it custom. We're going to open up these paths, bring that in, and obviously now that we have a custom shape, I can create the wrap around shape, and you'll notice that what it's done is now I've given myself, I can either do create a square wrap, or I can wrap around the object itself. So yeah, that's how you wrap text in InDesign.